Chevrolet built a compact economy car that could destroy muscle cars costing twice as much. The Nova SS wasn't supposed to be a performance legend. It was a cheap commuter car that Chevrolet's performance division turned into a giant killer. This is the story of how a budget Chevy II embarrassed GTOs, Chargers, and even Corvettes on streets and drag strips across America. The Chevy II started life in 1962 as Chevrolet's answer to the Ford Falcon and Plymouth Valiant. Simple, affordable, basic transportation for families who couldn't afford a full-size Impala. The car had no pretensions about performance. Its mission was getting people to work and back without breaking down or breaking the bank. Then in 1964, Chevrolet's performance engineers looked at the Chevy II's simple platform and saw something nobody else did. The car was light, around 2,800 pounds. The engine bay could fit Chevrolet's small block V8. The rear axle could handle serious torque with minimal modifications. What if they dropped a real engine into this economy car? The Nova SS was born from that question, and it changed everything about what a budget performance car could be. The 1968 Nova SS represents the car at its peak. Chevrolet offered it with engines ranging from a mild 327 cubic inch small block up to the legendary L78 396 big block. That L78 option was the key to the Nova's reputation. It was the same 375 horsepower engine that powered Chevelles and Camaros, stuffed into a car that weighed 400 pounds less. The math was simple and devastating. A Chevelle SS 396 weighed around 3,600 pounds with the L78. A Nova SS with the same engine weighed 3,200 pounds. That 400-pound difference translated to nearly half a second in the quarter mile. The Nova SS 396 was running mid-13 seconds right off the showroom floor. That was Corvette territory, and the Nova cost $3,000 less. But the real genius was how the Nova SS looked. From the outside, it appeared to be a basic compact car. No massive hood scoops, no wild graphics, just clean lines and understated badging. You had to look closely to spot the SS badges and the slightly wider tires. This wasn't a car that announced its presence. It was a sleeper in the truest sense. The L78 396 in the Nova SS made 375 horsepower through a single 4-barrel carburetor on an aluminum intake manifold. The engine used 11-to-1 compression and a solid lifter camshaft that gave it a distinctive lope at idle. The exhaust note through the dual pipes told you this wasn't a grocery getter, even if the body looked like one. Chevrolet paired the L78 with a close-ratio 4-speed manual transmission and a positraction rear end with gears ranging from 3.55 to 4.10 ratios. The suspension was upgraded with heavier springs and larger sway bars. The brakes got power assist and front discs on better-equipped models. These weren't sophisticated upgrades, but they worked. What made the Nova SS special wasn't exotic technology. It was the simplicity of the formula. Take a lightweight body, drop in a proven big block, add basic performance upgrades, and keep the price reasonable. Chevrolet was building a working man's muscle car that could run with anything on the street. The Nova SS's reputation was built at drag strips and street races across America. The car's lightweight gave it a significant advantage in straight-line acceleration. At the track, Nova SS owners were regularly beating heavier muscle cars that had more horsepower on paper. A stock Nova SS 396 with the L78 engine could run consistent mid-13-second quarter miles at around 105 miles per hour. That was faster than most big block Chevelle despite having the same engine. It was faster than 440-powered Plymouth Roadrunners. It could stay with Hemi cars off the line through first and second gear before the Hemi's power overwhelmed it. But the Nova's real advantage came with modifications. Because the car was so light, every horsepower addition had maximum effect. Headers, a better carburetor, and some minor tuning could drop the Nova into the low 13 seconds. More aggressive modifications pushed it into the 12 seconds. The car responded to performance upgrades better than almost any other muscle car of the era. Street racing made the Nova SS legendary. The car looked completely innocent sitting at a stoplight. Most drivers in their GTO, Chargers, or Mustangs wouldn't see a Nova as a threat. Then the light would change, and that innocent-looking compact would launch harder than cars twice its price. The Nova's compact size made it easier to drive aggressively. The shorter wheelbase meant quicker direction changes. The lighter weight meant better brake performance. In the real world, where traffic, curves, and quick reactions mattered, the Nova SS could embarrass much more expensive cars. Stories spread through car clubs and drag strips about Novas destroying muscle car royalty. A plain-looking Nova SS walking away from a 428 Cobra Jet Mustang. A tired-looking Nova SS running down a brand-new 446 Pack Roadrunner. These weren't just drag strip tales. These were real encounters on real streets, and the Nova SS was winning. Chevrolet's pricing strategy made the Nova SS accessible to buyers who couldn't afford traditional muscle cars. A base Nova SS with the 350 small block cost around $2,600 in 1968. Step up to the L78 396, and the price climbed to roughly $3,200. Compare that to a Chevelle SS 396 at $3,600 or a Corvette at over $5,000. The Nova SS delivered 90% of the performance for 60% of the price. That value proposition attracted a specific type of buyer. These were working guys who wanted serious performance but had house payments and families to support. The Nova SS was the car you could justify to your wife because it was practical transportation. The fact that it could destroy Corvettes was just a bonus. Insurance companies initially didn't catch on to what the Nova SS represented. Early in the production run, insurance rates were based on the car being a compact economy vehicle. By the time insurers realized these cars were running in the 13ths, thousands were already on the road. The Nova SS slipped under the insurance radar in a way that Chargers and GTOs never could. The 1970 and 1971 Nova SS models represented the final evolution of the first-generation car. Chevrolet redesigned the body, giving it a more aggressive stance while maintaining the compact dimensions. The performance options got even more serious. The ultimate was the 1970 Nova SS with the LS6 454. The LS6 was rated at 450 horsepower, though that number was conservative. This was the same engine that powered the legendary Chevelle LS6, squeezed into the Nova's lighter body. Only a handful of buyers ordered this combination. The cost was substantial, and the power was overwhelming for a car this size, but those few LS6 Novas became the stuff of legend. A Nova SS with the LS6 could run low 13 seconds or high 12 seconds completely stock. With minimal modifications, these cars were capable of 11-second quarter miles. That performance put them in territory usually reserved for purpose-built drag cars. The fact that you could drive an LS6 Nova to work on Monday and run 12 seconds at the drag strip on Saturday made it extraordinary. The Nova SS's impact on the muscle car landscape was significant. It proved that lighter was better than just more powerful. The car demonstrated that thoughtful engineering and smart packaging could beat brute force and expensive components. Other manufacturers took notice. Plymouth's response was the Duster 340, a compact that used similar principles. Dodge offered the Demon. Ford had the Maverick Grabber, though it never quite achieved the Nova's performance levels. The compact muscle car segment existed because the Nova SS showed it could work. But none of the competitors quite captured what made the Nova SS special. The combination of Chevrolet's proven small and big block engines, the simple but effective chassis, and the understated looks created something unique. The Nova SS was the template, and everything else was a variation. Drag racing's superstock classes saw heavy Nova SS participation. The car's lightweight made it competitive in classes where power-to-weight ratios determined success. Racers campaigned Novas in everything from pure stock to modified production classes. Professional drag racers recognized the Nova's potential early. Dick Harrell, one of the era's most successful Chevrolet racers, built several Nova SS drag cars. Bill Jenkins campaigned Novas before moving to Vegas and Camaros. These professional efforts proved the platform's capabilities and generated publicity that helped streetcar sales. The Nova SS also found success in street racing circuits across America. The car was small enough to be nimble in traffic, quick enough to win races, and common enough that it didn't attract unwanted attention. For street racers, the Nova SS was the perfect tool. By 1972, the muscle car era was ending. Insurance rates had skyrocketed. Emissions regulations were tightening. Gas prices were rising. The Nova SS survived longer than most muscle cars because its compact size and economy car roots made it more palatable to insurers and regulators. But the performance was fading. Compression ratios dropped. Horsepower ratings fell. The 1972 Nova SS was still a capable car, but it wasn't the giant killer that the 1968 to 1971 models had been. By 1974, the Nova SS badge had been reduced to appearance package status. The performance legacy was over. Today, first-generation Nova SS models, particularly the 1968 to 1972 cars, are highly collectible. A documented L78-396 Nova SS regularly brings $60,000 to $80,000 at auction. The rare LS6454 cars can exceed $150,000 for exceptional examples. Even basic Nova SS models with 350 small blocks command $30,000 to $40,000. The values reflect collector understanding of what these cars represented. They weren't the flashiest muscle cars, they weren't the most powerful, but they were among the smartest executions of the muscle car formula. Lightweight, proven engines, simple execution, and a price that made performance accessible. Restored Nova SS models appear regularly at car shows, drag racing events, and muscle car gatherings. Owners appreciate the car's dual nature. It's practical enough to drive regularly, but capable enough to embarrass cars that cost significantly more when new. That combination remains appealing decades after production ended. The Nova SS proved something fundamental about performance car engineering. You don't always need the biggest engine, the most sophisticated suspension, or the most aggressive styling. Sometimes the best solution is taking a lightweight platform, adding a proven powerful engine, and keeping everything simple and reliable. Modern performance cars still follow this formula. The current Camaro, the Mustang, even electric performance cars all benefit from weight reduction more than just adding power. The Nova SS understood this principle in 1968, and it remains true today. The story of the Nova SS is ultimately about intelligent engineering creating unexpected capability. Chevrolet took an economy car platform and transformed it into something that could compete with muscle car royalty. The car succeeded not through exotic technology or massive displacement, but through simple physics. Power-to-weight ratio matters more than absolute horsepower. This budget Chevy II that was never supposed to be fast became one of the most effective muscle cars of the era. It beat cars costing twice as much. It embarrassed drivers who underestimated what a compact economy car could do. It proved that smart packaging and lightweight could overcome bigger engines and fancier equipment. That's the Nova SS. The economy car that destroyed everyone who thought muscle car performance required a big price tag and flashy looks. Sometimes the best sleeper is the one nobody sees coming until it's already gone.